A wicked stepmother sold her orphan stepdaughter for just 10,000 naira, less than $10, thinking she was dooming her to misery. But what unfolded shattered her pride and left her disgraced before the world. This story will break you, inspire you, and surprise you. Join me in this incredible tale. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. Jessica was painfully thin. At 14, she looked younger than her peers, not from illness, but from years of hunger that dulled her ebony skin. Yet, a stubborn ember of hope glowed in her eyes, bright as a coal refusing to die. She lived in Mile 12 Market, under the iron grip of her stepmother, Madame Amaka, a proud trader in starched Ankara, her cheap gold bangles clinking with every flare of her temper. To Amaka, Jessica, her orphan niece, was the lowest of the low, a burden barely worth the charity stipend she received for her care. Jessica wasn't Amaka's child. She was the daughter of Amaka's late sister, lost in a rain-slick crash on the Abuja Lagos road. Amaka took her in, not out of love, but for the small monthly funds that barely covered soap. Resentment festered in her heart like sour palm wine. Jessica fetched firewood, hauled baskets, washed pots. Every task was hers, every failure her sin. One humid afternoon, Jessica balanced a battered basin of bitter leaf through the market's narrow aisles, her bare feet dodging puddles and crushed tomatoes. She noticed a gaunt man in tattered jeans, his beard tangled, his eyes weary. Traders called him Baba Homeless, but his name was Femi Ajayi. He slept under a pedestrian bridge, swept mosque floors for coins, and guarded a worn copy of the Book of Proverbs like a treasure map. Seeing dust on his lips, Jessica offered him her water bottle without a word, a small act of mercy. Amaka saw it and exploded. "You sharing my goods with riffraff? Kneel." Jessica's knees hit the gravel, sharp stones biting her thin wrapper. Femi took a sip, gave a weak smile, and returned the bottle. Amaka performed her outrage for the snickering traders. "House help? She's barely worth it. Lazy fly. I feed her, and this is how she repays me." Femi spoke softly. "Madam, forgive her. She was kind." Amaka snapped. "Kindness pays no rent." Jessica rose, brushed off her knees, and kept working, but Femi watched her with growing resolve. That night, rain turned Mile 12 into a muddy maze. Jessica shivered under Amaka's fraying umbrella, her wrapper soaked, hunger gnawing her belly. Amaka tossed corn scraps to the ground, taunting her. Across the lane, Femi sat under the bridge, rain drumming around him. Jessica's kindness had stirred something in him, a quiet determination. The next morning, the market roared back to life. Jessica had barely slept, up at dawn fetching water and scrubbing Amaka's wrapper. By 9 a.m., she hauled a sack of onions bigger than her frame. That's when Femi approached Amaka's stall. "Madam, I want to talk about Jessica." Amaka scoffed. "Wouldn't concern you with my house problem?" Femi stood firm. "She's not yours. She deserves better." Amaka laughed. "You, Baba Homeless. You go feed her with rain and Bible verses." Femi replied, "I can't give her a palace, but I can give her peace." Amaka's eyes gleamed with greed. "How much you carry?" Femi hesitated, then pulled out 10,000 naira, his life savings, meant for medicine or a shack. Amaka snatched it, smirking. 10,000? You think that's enough for a goat, let alone this stubborn girl?" Femi said, "She's a child." Amaka shrugged. "Fine. Take her. Let me see how long you last before you dump her in a gutter." Jessica stood frozen, eyes wide. Amaka waved her off. "Be going. I no want see your shadow again." Femi draped his oversized jacket over Jessica's shoulders and said, "Come." As they walked away, Amaka muttered, "Good riddance." unaware she'd handed Jessica to a man far richer than she could imagine. Jessica clutched Femi's jacket, walking silently beside him. For the first time in years, no one barked orders or called her useless. By sunset, they reached the pedestrian bridge, Femi's home. He cleared a dry spot, laid down cardboard, and used his rucksack as her pillow. "Sleep, my daughter," he said softly. Jessica's heart skipped. No one had called her that since her parents died. She slept in silence, not comfort, but something close. Days passed. Amaka made a sport of mocking them. "Jessica, how's bridge life? Got mosquito net yet?" The market women laughed, but Jessica stayed silent, and Femi never retaliated. He began disappearing for hours, returning with money, clothes, even a cracked tablet. He enrolled Jessica in a free literacy class. She learned to read, memorized proverbs, and gained quiet confidence, though to the market, they remained the homeless man and the orphan. On Jessica's 15th birthday, Femi gave her second-hand school sandals wrapped in newspaper. She stared, then cried, not from pain, but from being seen. "I don't have much," Femi said, "but you're not forgotten." Jessica hugged him tightly. That afternoon, Amaka passed by. "Jessica, where's you now?" Bridge life dawned better. Jessica met her eyes with newfound strength, and Amaka faltered. That night, Femi scribbled in his notebook. Observation complete. Phase 2 begins. Jessica leaned on his shoulder. "Papa, what's your real name?" He smiled. "Femi. But soon, the world will know the rest." Something big was coming. One morning, Jessica woke to find Femi gone. No rucksack, no proverbs, no note. Panic gripped her. She ran to the market, searching, but no one had seen him. Hours later, Femi returned. "I thought you abandoned me," Jessica cried, hugging him. "Never, my angel," he said. "I want to get money. You don't belong on the streets. Come, let me take you where you belong." Femi took Jessica away. No one knew where. The bridge stood empty. Word spread, and Amaka rejoiced. God don't answer prayer. That Baba homeless and his girl don't vanish. Maybe thief carry them. She grew bolder, claiming she'd kicked Jessica out herself. But doubt flickered in her heart. Where had they gone? Weeks later, in a market canteen, the TV crackled on. Chief Oluwaye Ajayi, mystery entrepreneur, has launched a multi-billion naira agro-tech hub in Lekki, the anchor said. The screen showed Femi, clean in a white agbada, beside Jessica, radiant in a blue gown. Amaka's spoon hit the floor. Chief Ajayi lived among the homeless to understand Nigeria's markets. The anchor continued. Jessica spoke. "I was invisible, unwanted, but kindness gave me wings." Amaka muttered, "It can't be them," and stormed out, but the market buzzed. Was Baba homeless a billionaire? Days later, a convoy rolled into mile 12. A Rolls-Royce, jeeps, a delivery truck. Femi stepped out, regal, with Jessica, poised in a lilac gown. The crowd gasped. "Not Baba homeless." Femi took a microphone. "I lived under that bridge, insulted, ignored. But I never forgot who I was. This girl gave me water when I had none. Today, I returned to build hope." Jessica spoke. "I was sold for 10,000 naira, mocked, beaten. But I was adopted by destiny. I forgive." She walked to Amaka's stall, placing an envelope on the table. "For Chidinma, your daughter. A full scholarship. She shouldn't suffer for your mistakes." Amaka's eyes filled with tears. Femi asked, "Do you see us now?" Amaka whispered, "I didn't know." Jessica replied, "You never cared to. But we forgive you." The truck opened, spilling rice, oil, supplies. The market erupted in joy, but Amaka sat frozen, tears streaming. At home, her daughter asked, "Why did you sell Jessica like a goat?" Amaka had no answer. Shame consumed her. One evening, she walked to the bridge, Finding a sunflower, Jessica's symbol of resilience. Jessica appeared alone. Amaka knelt. I was wicked. I treated you like rubbish. Jessica lifted her. You sold me, but I was planted. I wouldn't wish shame on you. She placed the sunflower in Amaka's hand. Be better, for Chidinma. Amaka confessed to the market cooperative, volunteering for Jessica's foundation, cleaning, carrying, serving. People mocked, but she persisted. Jessica watched, and Femi said, some learn through blessings, others through breaking. Jessica nodded. At least she's learning. Months later, Mile 12 transformed. Jessica's foundation brought education, food, hope. She visited the bridge weekly, a reminder of her roots. Femi handed her adoption papers. You saved me, Jessica whispered. No, Femi said. You gave me purpose. They embraced under the bridge, now a symbol of rebirth. A sign rose, Jessica Ajayi Foundation, educate to elevate. Below it, when you plant kindness in cruelty's dirt, even mud can bloom. Jessica, once sold, was chosen. Amaka, once proud, found humility. Treat everyone with kindness, no matter their status. Today's rejected soul may rise above all. True wealth is compassion, and forgiveness trumps revenge. What did you learn? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Another moral tale is coming, so subscribe and turn on notifications. Hit like and share. Thank you for listening. God bless.